Actually, I changed my mind before I start uh, the summary. Happy anniversary! 4 years
I,
of whatever this is.
I can't think of a way to mangle that in a similar way to Happy Bappy or birthday.
Yeah.
Oh,
As I said, 4 years of whatever this is. It's been wonderful playing with you guys, and may it continue indefinitely.
well, I mean, we're gonna kill that guy, so
Thank
He
you for
doesn't get
getting
to
my joke.
continue.
I have one joke, and that was it. Come back next century. Um, okay. Uh, so last we left off, you guys,
Wait, does that mean that we have to play for another 4 years to get another good pun like that?
you got to commit right now. uh, what are you doing in 2028? It's this surprise.
This,
um, so last we left off, you guys were in the Shadowfell, the super fun, happy place that everyone loves. Um, I'm just kidding. It's goth. You find yourself in sort of the dark mirror of the city of Avatix on the prime material plane, um, which is a largely Shadar-kai inhabited city known as Gloomvale. Um, you guys did a little bit of exploration. You found the library, did a bit shopping, all the usual fun stuff, except this is the plane of depression. So everyone's kind of a little scared and skittish. And you gather this is largely due to the ruler of the city, um, a vampiric dragon known as Nilfgaard the Ebony End, who has kind of a monopoly on everything within Gloomvale. Um, he in turn promises to protect the city against the threats of the Shadowfell so long as people pay him a proper tease. And one of the lovely locations that you guys visited was a shop set up by a denizen of the Nine Hells, known as the Infernal Menagerie, where you discovered that this Cambion, this half devil, was trying to sell slaves to the people of the Shadowfell. You guys decided to kind of pool your money and were able to free all the slaves, making an arrangement that he would drop them off in your inn, and there is a total of 12 of them, which is super fun and cool, and you've got to figure out what to do about that now. But after that, you went to the uh, let's see, I'm trying to find the name of it. If I gave it a cool one, yeah, no, I didn't apparently. Just the local Church of the Raven Queen, which is a cathedral-like building that has fallen into disrepair. You gathered from the couple of people that are still present there that the vampiric ruler of the city does not seem particularly fond of religion. Um, and not only has prevented money from going towards the church, but also more or less just by his presence alone kind of scared a lot of the denizens away from their worship. But within the slowly falling apart cathedral, you guys decided to try to reach out to the Raven Queen. And that is where we are picking up. So I shall start the music. Ichiri did not take part in the ritual, choosing instead to observe you guys as you kind of just sat in a circle with I believe a druid crafted rose was the signifier you guys chose as a mark of your guys' fate to try to reach out to her.
Rose and blood.
Mm-hmm. So I'll say you all find yourselves in darkness. You're sitting in the same position you had been before, but the temple is gone. The rose is gone. All of the candles that were around you are gone. It's pitch black, but you can see each other. And as you're kind of sitting there absorbing this and like realizing that, oh my God, something's happening, maybe a couple yards away, the most perceptive of you can see a porcelain white mask, blank expression, and you can't see the eyes underneath, but it just is kind of looming out of the darkness, maybe about 9 feet up. And all around you, as if it were a mirror, the darkness seems to kind of shatter. It doesn't change immediately, and you're more aware of the sensation of something breaking rather than actually seeing it. But within these shattered fragments, the darkness seems to pull in and create the shape of a woman with the porcelain face, the porcelain mask. And in the shattered remains of the darkness around you, you all catch tiny glimpses of your own fates. It's not necessarily your death, but these are choices that you have made that could have led to a completely different outcome, and perhaps even choices that you will make. So, for example, Demir might see herself in one fragment sitting on the throne of the Winter Court alone. Meanwhile, Tobias in another one might see himself, if he had allowed the beast blood to overtake him, becoming something more violent and feral. Each of you see different things and different futures and different possibilities you could have taken around you. And meanwhile, at the same time, emanating from this woman, there's just an overwhelming sense of mourning. And I'd like to take a moment for each of you just to describe how you're feeling, maybe what you see if you want to share.
I mean, I can describe a little bit of how Lish is just kind of, he wasn't really sure about getting pulled into this sort of worship sequence, so he's a little bit like, oh boy, about it. But in his demeanor, he's kind of, staying cool and collected, but like very respectful. Definitely not letting his face reveal much as far as like emotions, but as far as like his reaction to what he sees is just intrigued by the different paths that he could have taken, and kind of studying each one as it kind of flickers by to see if he can't learn something by it, and just kind of is watching her appraisingly, just kind of seeing what she's come here to do. Untrusting.
Aaron seems very, very focused. Very, trying to keep his mind on what's he to do. And I think I think he's just going to have like an expression of like, polite interest in watching. This is, clearly something that we're being shown. And, it would be rude to either turn that down or not appreciate it. So he's staring, like he's being told a story. And I think he's getting visions of, him out in the woods, drunk and angry, and lashing out. And he's just nodding along with that. And yeah, that is part of his character.
Valk is doing her priestly thing of, show of reverence and, at attention. But you've kind of gotten to know her enough to see that she is very much also monitoring the fates that are flashing around, since from a young age she was informed that she had an important fate, but you can see variations of her future in the glimpses into what could have been, where she hadn't met the roses and hadn't been removed from I can't remember his name. The priest who was taking advantage of her divine nature. And each time you see those possibilities flicker across the fabric of what could have been, you can kind of see kind of the edges of her blur into the darkness a little bit, since she is exploring that aspect of the divine.
So, Demir, I think, kind of like Lish, didn't really expect to be here. She kind of was thinking that the faithful of the group would be dealing with this and that she was just here for support, kind of like when Lish was praying at the shrine to Auril. So as you all know, Demir is hard to read. So her outward expression is sizing up the Raven Queen. Her eyes are fixed on the mask. And she is doing the like kind of stare down that Demir does sometimes when she is looking at a problem in front of her and she's not sure how to approach it yet. But she is very on purpose not looking at any of the fates. She got a glimpse of herself sitting alone on the winter throne, a vision of herself in someone else's home holding a child, and that was enough that Demir immediately turned away and fixed entirely on the Raven Queen.
Real quick, because I do need to get up for a moment. I'll do my thingy first. I feel like there's a lot of potential fates that Hawk has turned away from, and a lot of them are things that he sort of expected to see once he started seeing the first few visions of being stuck in his old family's basement, visions of staying in the forest, visions of still being an archer with the roses. And he looks past most of those, but there's one that catches his eye. And there's nothing in it. And that he stays fixed on that for a few seconds. But he shakes himself out of it. And he remembers that he did have something to ask the Raven Queen. You guys probably heard that knock. I will be back.
When Tobias gazes upon the fates that are surrounding the wild roses, his expression is one of just quiet resignation. Each fate that's presented to him are the ones that he sees where in the choices where he chose not to leave home, in the instances where Ofsi did not find him, or even in the instances where he did not take Ofsi's guiding hand, each fate that Tobias sees is bloodier than the last. Be it he is human, or be it he's a monster. Corpses litter the ground behind his feet. And Tobias just kind of acknowledges those potential paths before bowing his head and mourning.
All right. So now that the Raven Queen has been in view for a little longer, you can see that she's wearing robes of the deepest black you can imagine. On her shoulders and crawling up to her neck where they reach the porcelain mask are inky black feathers, beautifully laid out, that trail down her back into a cape. She's wearing a hood of the same fabric of her robes, and any part of her that may have once been mortal flesh is hidden from view. She looms over even the tallest among your party, seems to be waiting.
I think
Demir's
it's all
going-
yours, Volk. unless Demir wants to do something.
I was gonna say Demir looks to Lish and is kind of like taking cues from whatever he wants to do. So
Lish looks to Volk, who started this prayer off and instigated this whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to finish meme. Grey Lady, Queen of Ravens, Goddess of the Moment of Death.
Demir is going to give Volk a little encouraging double thumbs up and a bardic inspiration point.
Balk wouldn't be having much problem with this. Lars is having problems with this.
You all hear a soft feminine voice in your head in whatever language you consider to be your native language. You all have traveled a long way to get here.
Aaron is going to say, thank you for coming to your home and for this opportunity. And he's going to sink down into a curtsy.
Honoring us with your presence. And Balk does a quick salute.
She looks towards you both. Kind of, frankly, hard to tell where she's looking given the mask. But
we're used to people with non-standard faces looking at stuff.
She looks in the direction of both of you, and you both have an understanding. This isn't her in the flesh. This is a vision, but she is entertaining your presence.
Ask her if she's heard the good word about the world falling apart.
Well, obviously, she's aware of fluctuations in the weave.
Can she throw us a couple cigarettes?
She used to be a wizard. She's aware of things.
Yeah. Trying to remember what I know of the Raven Queen.
You can roll a religion check if you like.
Me was part.
I mean, I can tell you the stuff that I told you last session.
Yeah, no, she's a goddess of the moment of death. She was originally mortal. She is more good than evil, but more neutral than anything else. But yeah, sorry everyone. The brain is refusing to brain. You know what? Fuck it. As a goddess, you must feel the unraveling of the weave much more acutely than us. And we are but mortals doing our best. If we may beseech you, for aid in our endeavors, be it your what's the word? Not grace, not devotion. The opposite of devotion. Not blessing.
Favor?
Yes, thank you. Your favor, boon, or just a secret that might push us in the right direction. We fight for the safety of you and all those that have come and yet may come.
All of my divine brothers and sisters and those in between have felt the disappearance of Mistra. We have felt the ripples reach us across time and space of the actions of the indefinite. And I know that the fates of all of you are intertwined with his. What do you seek to know?
Okay, so the main big questions that we have left are where he has set up shop
Mm-hmm.
and
Like what's in the portal? Like how the portal works, maybe?
what's in the portal, where what plane he has set up shop, what the fuck the kitty is,
How
and
to fucking stop him?
How to
I
stop
doubt
him? It would be
I highly doubt she'll give us a little note with a detailed plan that's step by step.
what spell can we use to push him into the grave?
So first
Thou
you need to go
must
collect
hunger.
50 potatoes, and then
Oh,
Put the potatoes through the portal.
Take the
I
indefinite
think
and
we know
shove him somewhere else.
I think we know what the cat is, right? Like the cat is Mistra's cat that he like corrupted, right?
ooh,
Like
I actually have
I
a
think
very
if we
good
knew,
question.
yeah, if we knew more of like where he was, how to get to him, how
Mhm.
like what does she think can stop him? Uh I think those are key things. I mean,
What
if we
sort of
go through the portal, can we get to him?
Yeah. I mean, I would say we should see what the gods are willing to do for us. After all, we are solving a problem for them. It is their weave that is unraveling after all.
Yeah,
That's
if we
not
can
how
get
Valkyl
information,
phrased the question.
if we can get information on where is he, how do we get to him, how do we stop him, and what else, like what boons can we get from you? Like I
Mhm.
think those four are the most helpful.
I actually have even more important fifth one. Uh,
Will will you give me a kiss? Ooh, 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 ooh.
no. Uh, okay. We have been looking into the portal and where it may go. We've been looking into why he's doing what he's doing and ways of stopping him. But the one question that we haven't really been able to ask someone is, will defeating him be enough to restore Mistra and the Weave, or will more need to be done?
Are you asking this in character, or are you
You,
confirming with the party still?
well, no, that was kind of in character, but one of the questions, actually, what should have probably been asked first is, does Mistra yet live, or has she been completely removed from existence?
Don't we know? I thought we knew already that she's still there. We were able to speak to her.
Oh,
She's
yeah, you're right.
He was able to warlockify Levy.
Okay, so yes, I will ask the question of, we've already been researching things, but there is a question that we haven't even been able to approach to get an answer to from any of our sources, so we haven't even asked it. But if the indefinite is defeated, will that be enough to restore Mistra, or will more need to be done?
In character
The
this
big
time.
divine question. Yes.
Okay. You feel her attention shift towards you, and again, you can all hear her speak kind of telepathically in your minds. Once Idaren's power is broken and he is defeated, Mistra will be released, unless you all fail. Upon her release, she will have the ability to fix what is broken.
That is good news. Still an impossible task, but an end is theoretically in sight. Pa, pa, pa. Does anybody have specific phrasing for some of the questions that we haven't gotten satisfactory answers yet on?
Well, I just got back. Did we ask her anything about the Phoenix?
No, we haven't gotten to the Phoenix. We're asking the big questions right now.
Gotcha.
I think your phrasing has been just fine. She's not a trickster.
Yeah, I have phrasing, but you wouldn't like it.
So what waits for us beyond the portal in the turning spire, or is that answer even hidden from you?
The Indefinite has used the power of the goddess of magic to create from the land of Elysium a new moon that hangs over the land which he wishes to pull further and further away like a thread. He is within this moon, plucked creatures and people and items from time in order to create his own fantasy.
Does this extend beyond the simple desire to see his family again, then?
He is a selfish man who wishes to create what he perceives as paradise and escape the ravages of time on the mortal plane. There are things, there are people, there are creatures that all come and go within a lifetime, but for those who spend their lifetimes, such as the archmages of the Turning Spire. It seems as if those things disappear rather quickly. They are not as suited for immortality, or at least such a length of longevity as others. And you can kind of feel her attention, Lish and Demir.
Why? Why?
And yet, you will come to an end, as must all.
Lish looks dubious.
Let's just hope it's a happy end as opposed to an end at the indefinite.
There's a possibility.
Speaking of
It's
things that come to an end, actually, we we intend to head west to pluck a feather from the phoenix in one small step in our seemingly very long quest to gather allies and train ourselves. And we've heard many things about this poor thing being cursed into undeath. Do you, as a goddess of death, of the moment of dying, have any interest in seeing that cycle broken? Is there a way to do it?
It would take a great deal of divine energy to purify the soul of the lost phoenix. The tyrant of woe was foolish in his endeavors, making one mistake and trying to cover it up and continuing like a snowball rolling down a hill, leading to his eventual capture and the corruption of the phoenix. I do not care for undead, but I also acknowledge that to prevent it from returning in its undead state, it may be out of your power.
I assumed as much.
But a
Shame.
question worth asking.
I don't regret asking it. It's better to know it can't be done than always wonder.
I did not say it could not be done.
It's fair enough. I suppose I more so meant that we probably can't do it right now.
Or could not do it without your help.
You said it would take a divine intervention after all, but we aren't here for the soul of the phoenix. And if we're being truthful, Demir looks at Hawk. The phoenix is more of a side errand, selfish. But we are on the path for the indefinite. As soon as this matter is wrapped up.
And as soon as you deal with your little problems under court, I imagine.
Any ally we can gain.
We need all the power we've got. After all, we're dealing with someone who feels free to ensnare the gods. Since
Which is why I am seeing fit to speak to you at all when none of you have saw fit to dedicate yourselves to me. Do not ask that you do so. I am merely keeping an eye on those that pull the threads of fate a little stronger than most at the moment.
Quite understandable.
Demir, when you speak, it's interesting because you can tell that she's looking at you as both Demir and as Princess Zafira. She knows you.
There's something about that unnerves Demir, and like those who know her can see her hackles raise a little. You can hear that edge of impatience in her voice when she was speaking to the Raven Queen, but she doesn't immediately break and start saying rude things. So,
Character development.
If she looks to Lish, Lish is like giving her a look like, be patient, be careful.
Lish, you also get the impression that the Raven Queen has at least some idea of your true name as well.
She's not a fae. What is she going to do with it? Doesn't got no mouth to speak it. Yeah. She unnerves him, but he's doing his best to stay cool. I mean, let other people talk.
Honestly, for all of you, everything about her is unnerving.
Yeah. Aaron's
as a creature that doesn't necessarily die of old age, I imagine she's sort of just unnerving by default to Hawk.
You all get the impression, looking at her, that she knows exactly when and how each of you will die.
Yeah.
Even for those of you that believe yourselves to be immortal.
I never said I was immortal, just that I can't die of age.
Doubt.
Die of weathering, perhaps, but...
Hawk just rests in a field. Hawk's just the Tin Man.
I'm Bastion. I'm Bastion Overwatch. The one good character.
Anyways, Aaron's gonna step forward, and say, is the indefinite a god? Does he fashion himself to become one?
He does not seek godhood in the way that one may imagine. Mortals seem to think that there are several methods to godhood, such as ascension, being chosen by a deity, or even perhaps through dark rituals such as lichdom. He is not interested in becoming a deity or being worshipped. He wishes to create his own paradise.
And unravel everything he needs to build it.
Right. Selfish men do not care or don't care about the repercussions of their actions.
What is this?
Very subtle nod.
Lish just pipes up and says, what sort of perfection does he seek? What does it look like? What does he strive for?
He strives for a world in which he and those he has lost, those he wishes to gain, can all continue forever. He wishes to break reality to serve this purpose as he has done. As one ages and grows, things gets left behind, whether mortals wish for them to be left behind or not. He can gain those things back and to be protected from any outside interference to try to right the way that he has wronged the plane. He will be satisfied, or so he believes.
Some kind of stable collision of realities and time.
That is what he hopes to achieve. If he can find himself beyond the eyes of the gods, using the mistress of magic as a shield of sorts and a power source, he believes that he can maintain what he has regained permanently.
And how close is he to achieving this goal?
He has regained much of what he has lost. He now works to separate his new city into a new plane. City of Corundar.
Is Corundar like a new thing, or would it be like a city that exists already he's trying to pull out?
No, this is something he is creating.
Okay.
It sounds elvish.
The indefinite is elvish or human?
He's elf.
Elvish.
Yeah. Figured.
He's an elf that took a warlock pact with the Undying. So once you get high enough level in that, it's one of those scenarios where every 10 years that passes a single year, you age. So for an elvish lifespan, that means you're around for fucking forever.
Basically, would us elvish speakers have a translation for that, or is it just a name?
Just name.
Does it have a translation?
Okay. Just curious.
I mean, I can tell you as Avery that I stole it from, like, Kronos, God, the Titan of Time.
I mean, fair enough.
Like, I try to be clever with naming sometimes.
It's okay. I've stolen like 20 different Norse names. You're good.
Did we get a solid picture from the Raven Queen and I just missed it about a path to him? Or did that not quite get asked yet? So Lish will ask then, is there a path then to this plane that he's trying to create, this city? Is the portal the way, or is there a different way?
The portal would be the easiest way to reach your goal. Although I will warn you that while the city itself may be quiet, there are creatures that patrol the sky that will need to be distracted should you reach your goal.
Those cat-like creatures, I assume.
A single cat-like creature, and a creature that was once a man you have met before.
Oh no, not him.
God damn it.
Foxter sort of just like stifles like a loud groan, just like. Urgh.
What we gotta do is we gotta go gather a bunch of chewing gum, and we take it and we throw it, and it gets stuck in his gears. And
20 bottles of Coca-Cola.
We get that expanding concrete foam stuff, and we put it in the joints.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just realized you guys are talking about the I thought it was the vampire.
Oh,
Imagine
no.
if it was.
I
That'd
thought
be
there
pretty
was
dope
gonna be
too.
this giant fucking cat and then a stupid ass vampire skulking about the city. Okay, that makes way
That
more
would be
sense.
so funny.
The
She
gear
was
dragon makes
saying that
way
they're
more sense.
He did
she
just
was saying that they
disappear
were
after all.
flying, so unless the vampire can fly,
I mean, I wouldn't be
I
surprised if
mean
he
he
could.
could fly. We don't know jack shit about him, truly.
He could always cheat and be a bat.
The cats to which you refer them are known as Adranaks. They are beings of pure arcane energy. They can be very dangerous when under the control of a less than benevolent entity. This brings me to an offer of a gift. You may choose either an ally, or I can bestow a boon upon one of you. Decided among yourselves.
What kind of ally? Someone of your stock.
Clergy, right?
Clergy.
That would be correct. A fallen warrior in my name to assist in either the battle against the indefinite or as an assistant or the others that tend to go through the portal with you.
Could you tell us more about him?
She just looks towards you. Fuck.
I suppose it's asking too much. My apologies.
Does anybody want a Raven Queen boon?
Well,
I mean,
yes.
what fucking boon are we being offered? But even more than that, is that it? This is a man who is threatening to unravel the weave, and the gods can offer one god can offer us one of her servants and or a blessing. That's it?
It's Hawk's turn to shoot a glance at Demir now.
Well, we
Lish'll
want in the
go.
business of essentially saving the whole damn world, including the gods.
Lish will go over to Demir and he'll wrap his arm around her shoulder and kind of be like, darling, she's being very generous with us right now.
She's the only one of them. I will give her that credit. And I am not ungrateful for her hearing us out. Of course not. But the fact that she is the only one, I think, says quite a bit about the state of gods.
Well, I suppose, my darling, that we have not asked all of the gods for assistance personally as of yet. And there's still time. And yet we are...
Have we not?
Also, there's limitations on what a god can do to interfere with the power of another god.
To interfere with the power of the other god is being harnessed.
Isn't that exactly her point?
The arrow of blood doesn't ring any bells.
Sure.
Not in the slightest. Lish will kind of like say to Demir that oh god, what, I just lost it.
I am sure whatever aid the Raven Queen gives us will be great. So either way, I have no vote.
Demir, you hear the Raven Queen speak directly into your mind.
Someone's in trouble.
Ooh.
Lish will kind of say to the Raven Queen as he's like rubbing Demir's shoulder and say, as you can see, we are quite disturbed by the potential power that the indefinite has. So any assistance in combating his quite powerful abilities will be appreciated.
Honestly, a boon to go directly against the indefinites, not a bad idea. He has the power of a god at his disposal, whereas you saw what happened when we went up against him without godly power in our corner.
Or proper
I
preparation, for that matter.
I think that the servant joining us during like the final battle sounds interesting. Like unless someone in particular really wants like the Raven Queen boon, I think it would be interesting to see what happens.
So, just to lay some cards on the table, you guys have already figured out that well, she already told you that Max and Price and Adrenac are going to be kind of more or less patrolling the skies. You have Aldrich's party that is going to be going into the Doom Portal with you. I am also going to give you, for lack of a better descriptor, because that's what I named it in my document, a menu of NPCs within which you can call 5 to come assist you. You guys are welcome to handle this however you like, but I would imagine that one group would handle the Adrenac and one would handle Price while you guys moved on to try to fight the indefinite. The Raven Queen is offering an extra person for either of those groups or to join you guys. And this person will be able to fill a gap in the skill sets of whichever group you decide they go with. So you don't know much about them yet, who this person is, what they do.
We're just basically being given an all-rounder, right?
Yes, exactly. So, for example,
pretty nice.
if it's like I'm gonna pick 5 wizards to fight Max and Price. Maybe they should have a cleric. That kind of vibe. Otherwise, there are boons that I have chosen specifically based off of what you guys said would be helpful versus what I think would be interesting for the character versus character vibes in general. And she would grant one of those to one of you. So either way could be very helpful depending on how you decide to approach everything.
I'm kind of on the side of getting a cool guy.
A sick dude with big pants.
Sick dude.
I agree that the Raven Queen NPC might be a good idea, especially because of the fact that since they would serve as an all-rounder, like filling in a hole in a party composition, it would kind of help ensure that if we went through with having like Aldrich's party take on one of the threats and that other party take on the other, that those missions would succeed, which would give us more time to deal with the indefinite.
Yeah, and give us the leeway to not have to basically think as hard about how I want to arrange the groups and who we want to be in them. Because then we have someone who could help cover weaknesses no matter what we actually pick for the other 4.
Yeah, but Godly Boon.
The Godly Boon is really cool and very tempting, but a little bit of security would be nice.
A little bit of security, sure, but
also, sorry, I misspoke before. He is stealing from the surface of Nirvana to create his own face, not Elysium. I mixed up the words. I just wanted to
The
correct real
rocks.
quick.
I mean,
I
it makes
think
all the
what's-
difference.
I think what's kind of swaying me towards the person rather than the boon is because like the boon gets us like one or two really nice things, whereas like a person would get us like a handful of a kind of variety of different stuff, like in a fight.
Well, my
And-
kind of thought is depending upon the nature of the boon, that's something that can help us every single session until until the end of campaign, whereas the dude is for just the end game.
That's not a guarantee, though,
I,
because we do not know specifically what the boons are. It could literally be a one-time use.
they are not one time. They are directly from the list of epic boons. They're typically, most of them are like, you can do a once a day sort of thing, or until you finish a short rest. Some of them are like, this spell is now a bonus action for you. Some of them are, I mean, they are a permanent thing.
Would the person also have to take the detractions though as well? It's not just the boon, right?
Just the boon.
Okay, so just the boon, not none of the detractions.
I mean, if you consider like once per long rest sort of thing a detraction, but yeah.
No, but like usually, isn't it? You have a consequence.
I mean, so for example, if someone were to have made a deal with Char, could get a bonus to one of your stats, but also get a detriment to another stat. These don't have a detriment.
I guess
don't know. What are we thinking?
I think the real question is like, dice fumbling aside, if we do pick the boon, who would get it?
That's also fair.
I assume the queen decides that.
No, you guys would decide.
Decide amongst ourselves.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, who feels like they need a boon?
Well,
One of the things is a stat increase.
if we're being honest, Hawk probably suffered the most of character functionality issues in our last big combat.
But wasn't that because you don't have a weapon that's
Yeah,
quite right for Hawk right now?
I'm gonna run to the
like,
restroom while you guys chat about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, it was literally like I need to land attacks to function, and I wasn't landing attacks.
That's fair.
Which, you know,
man.
fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dice just fuck you over.
Yeah, not having a plus on my weapon doesn't really help though. Because I'm still using a Rapier of Warning, and the only benefit that has is that we can't be surprised. Which is pretty good, but that hasn't come up. Wait, no, it also has initiative advantage, and that also hasn't done that.
Point. We have so many weapons of warning all this time, and we've never been snuck up on.
Yeah.
So for the question of boon versus dude, I mean, personally, I think that a dude would probably make a lot of sense, but also like I think that we are also very capable of finding dudes for ourselves, as we have found a lot of dudes.
As Demir clearly showed.
Yeah. Once we oh, go ahead, Lars, sorry.
Well, no, just what Avery was saying, this would give us the opportunity to have 6 dudes instead of 5 dudes.
Oh, it's an additional, okay.
It's an additional dude.
Yeah, it's more people to wing to it than we would be able to otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the person could have like an additional 2 like attacks to hit per round.
Who really
Like
knows? I mean, even
that'd be
even
nice.
if
And I
they,
don't know if like a stat boost would give us that.
yeah. I mean,
That's a
it's
huge
the way I
amount of both
see it,
of damage, utility, and versatility that I don't think any, boon is going to get us.
yeah,
It's
like
not really a like a stat boost sort of thing. It's like an extra little superpower. Um, let's
Oh,
read one to that I didn't assign to anyone. Um,
yeah, like the way I've been.
Boon of Fortitude. Your maximum hit points increases by 40 points. Boon of Combat Prowess. When you miss with a melee weapon attack, you can choose to hit instead. Once you use this boon, you can't use it again until you finish a short rest.
A short rest?
That kind of thing.
Holy shit.
That
Yeah,
is
so
fucking
it's-
insane.
That is
Boon
really
of
cool.
High
Yeah.
Magic. You gain 1 9th level slot, provided you already have one. Boon of Immortality. You stop aging. You are immune to any effects that would age you, and you can't die from old age. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, like it's the way I've been interpreting is that it's a freaking like godly super bonus feat of a
Yeah.
sort. It's like it's a huge upgrade, but only one of us is getting it.
I mean, my vote, like I said, I think either one goes, but personally, I think that we are capable of finding dudes, and that is probably where Demir's point of view is. But she already spoke her piece. She's fine with whatever we choose.
Yeah.
Well, it's so where are people's opinions at right now? We have me and Demir in Boone would kind of be nice.
I'm kind of like
And
wibbling between the two because the way I'm seeing it is on one hand, the boon is a powerful feat that would bring somebody up quite a significant amount, I would think. And the other one is basically peace of mind in a sense and sort of security for either the Atronach or Maxon not sneaking up on us in the middle of the indefinite fight.
Yeah. Aaron's been pretty outspoken that the thing he cares about most is future-proofing this fight. He's very tunnel vision into this fight. So he's pretty heavily team a guy. Mhm.
I mean, the only thing as far as like the boons that Avery listed off would be like getting an extra 9th level spell for Lish could mean
Of
something. I mean,
of note,
he
there are
doesn't.
two other things I should probably, one of which I should point out, and the other of which was already pointed out. Out of that list, Avery said that those were options she considered but didn't take, if I remember correctly. Like didn't choose for
It's
us
just
thing.
the idea of
Yeah.
what could be
Right.
given.
Yeah,
So
it's like something
the
to compare
equivalent
against.
of getting an extra 9th level slot.
I
The equivalent
wanted
of,
to share some vibes for you. Like the
potency, as it
The
were.
description
Yeah.
from the DMG is an epic boon is a special power available only to 20th level characters. Characters at that level gain such boons only if the DM wants them to, and only when they find it appropriate. Epic boons are best awarded
So-
after the characters complete a major quest or accomplish something else particularly notable.
Yeah.
So
it's like
is
it's a
this
big
something
thing.
is this something that you'd be making with the character, or is this just something that the Raven Queen is bestowing without any?
I mean, that's
input?
my second point because it sounds like that's what we were asked questions about. So we should already have some vague idea of what we would get out of this if we were chosen.
I mean,
I
I
know.
did ask some of you questions, not all of you.
Oh, fair enough.
Again, just because I thought vibes would be cool. But
I'm voting for the guy. I think as far as like action economy and like the end fight, like having either a lot of melee options or a lot of spell options depending on what void it's filling. Like it would be nice to have like, I mean, what are we missing? We're missing like a monk or a rogue or
Kind of
other
depends. Like
things,
we're honestly like a pretty martially stacked party. Out of the people who are
In all
actively.
honesty, depending on if you decide to give the guy to yourselves or give the guy to your friends, it's probably going to be somewhere in the rogue or cleric area.
Makes
Maybe
sense.
paladin. Maybe rogue paladin. Maybe
I imagine
cleric
paladin.
monk, like with the healing thing.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
imagine.
depends.
So, like,
yeah.
The Raven
an extra
will look into the
paladin,
future and
like-
see what you guys need.
I think the
An
paladin is
extra
more so an
paladin
example for
on the
like one of the
battlefield.
groups because we
we
already
don't-
have two.
We
and one of
don't
them's
know.
dedicated.
We don't know the dude until it comes time to go into the portal.
Right.
So if
You guys don't even know
dude
what to do.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
Could be a
extra-
girl. Could be could be neither. Could be both.
I assume if we take the dude option, it's like an IOU until we go through the portal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much a, like, you guys go through the portal, you figure out what you're going to do, and then a guy appears to be like, hey, I can heal you, maybe.
Like
or
again,
I
I'm
can
viewing
punch the shit out of
Yeah.
someone.
I'm once again, I'm viewing the backup option as sort of a peace of mind option. And if that's
Yeah, the
equally
dude's
as
an
tempting as the divine
IOU.
boon.
Whereas the boon is you cash it multiple times kind of thing.
Like that's a permanent upgrade as opposed to an extra man in the indefinite fight or just a much higher chance of either of Idarin's backups not just crashing on us.
And
Mike,
You want a hit point sponge? I can give you one of those. Again, it really depends on what you're doing at the time, what you guys decide you need.
And I do want to, I don't think that this will be an issue, but from Demir's point of view, things are unraveling, things are getting bad fast. Who is to say that by the time we get to the portal, that the Raven Queen would even be able to summon her warrior out of the weave, since it is rapidly untangling?
my thought is, could we step up and do like an extra thing in an effort to try to do both? Like going out of our way to deal with the Phoenix and get it cured.
The Raven Queen has given you two gifts. She has given you information that you have not had, and she is offering you two other things. Like that, she's already doing a lot for an entire party that has nothing to do with her.
She's taking her neck out real far
Yeah.
to where she is.
I mean, from the player's point of view, the Raven Queen is dope as hell. I mean, she's coming in clutch.
What a sense.
Like, not every day you get to
Has a
talk
different
to
point
the
of view.
goddess of fate and death. Like, she is coming up and talking to you and, like, giving you gifts. Do you really want to push your luck?
Yeah, no.
I think if we do go the boon way, I think maybe like Tobias, Aaron, or Hawk should be the ones to you top of the list for that. But maybe we do like a vote, Guy or Boone. What do we think?
I'm hesitant to vote for myself, which is because that's how I be.
Yeah,
I
I'm
vote
very
Guy.
Okay. Let's decide who's getting the boon before we decide between Guy and Boone.
Well, why? Because if we don't do Boone, then does it matter?
It'd be better
Yeah,
to just
fair
decide Boone or Guy, and then if we choose Boone, then decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
As awesome as the dude is, I like the idea of the boon since it can benefit us consistently until the end of the campaign, whereas the dude is literally a +1 for the end game.
I
He-
vote
Anyone
for
would
Guy,
think.
and I vote for Boone.
I
Oh.
vote for Guy.
2 for Guy, 1 for Boone.
I vote for Guy.
3 for Guy, 1 for Boone.
Who hasn't voted other than me?
I haven't, but
Demir.
I literally either one. Like, I don't have a strong feeling.
Yeah, I'm like,
Demir doesn't
I-
have a strong feeling. Like,
yeah, I'm on the precipice myself. So if between the other 4, I think we just go Guy.
yeah, the majority says Guy. I think we're doing Guy.
Well, I mean, you guys could tie it up if you wanted to. And
I
then
mean,
exactly
what's the
scale.
point of tying it up at this point?
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, the thing, like,
What are
the
we
thing,
gonna do? Rock, paper, scissors?
yeah, the thing for Demir is she is worried that by the time we even get to the Guy, that things may have deteriorated to the point that the Raven Queen wouldn't be able to help us.
I don't
Well,
think Avery would do that to
yeah,
us.
considering
And
the
like you know, as a
structure of
player,
this
Easy,
thing-
not
I know that that's not going to happen. But that is Demir's concern, mainly with the Guy.
Because she's
Yeah.
a fucking
Would be
pessimist.
immediate. Well, it's more a matter of the weave is unraveling, and it seems like only a handful have bothered to do
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I get her point of view. I'm just
Mistra,
being
Shar, and the Raven Queen are the only gods that seem at all fucked about it.
Yeah.
Calling for a saloon.
Well,
goofy.
yeah,
Someone's helped, sort of.
sort of.
I got.
Okay.
Jared can help
Well, it
now.
sounds
Smiley
like-
face.
It sounds like the votes and the general
will
vibe
say-
are going towards Guy.
I will say, if it will soothe Demir in character, the Raven Queen can reach wherever there is death.
Okay.
She
And since we're gonna die all the time,
knows
in this
when the
process.
gods will die. She knows when you all will die. She knows when she will die.
She sees you when you're sleeping. She
I
knows
mean,
when
that's,
you're.
like I said, that's Demir's biggest objection to the Guy is that we're taking a big risk that it may.
I already posted the Spy Kids gift. Like, there's nothing more to do.
He's the guy.
This
Guy.
I'm the Guy. Yeah, so that's Demir's only objection to the Guy.
this might be my misinterpretation of it, but as far as I've been parsing it, the Raven Queen is going to right now put a guy down in the time that is when we are there. So like it's the current Raven Queen
Pretty much.
times just a different factor.
Well, okay. Sounds like we have a decision then.
Yeah. We take the champion, I
All right.
suppose.
All right. And so, with your decision made, all your vision goes black except for the white mask that lingers for another moment more before it too fades away. You guys once again find yourselves sitting where you had been before in the temple within the Shadowfell.
I would
Idris,
like to.
just kind of observing you guys, like looking kind of interested, but like
Didn't like that.
like he's waiting. It's as if no time at all has passed. Although, looking at the rose that you guys had placed in the middle of your little kumbaya circle, it is now kind of dried out.
Didn't like that.
That was an unnerving experience.
Stand up
but
out of the kumbaya circle.
Do you guys want to know what boons I would have given you?
I'll say I'll admit I'm morbidly
Yeah.
curious.
Depending on character.
You can probably just
Alright.
post them in
Wanna
text
know.
somewhere if you don't want to read them all off.
Oh, I'm not going to read them off. I'm just going to take a screenshot because I'm
Oh, yeah.
lazy.
I would like to buy a prayer book for the Raven Queen, please.
um,
This
sure.
better be a pretty freaking sick guy. It's just Elijah Wood in a dog out.
No, I'm actually sending you like actual real Elijah Wood.
Guest character.
um, let's see if I can, while you guys are looking through that, find a good name for the Holy Book of the Raven Queen.
What? Pervon is not good enough for us?
It is not. Mhm.
I think I'm all right with that choice. Cold
That is
resistance
pretty
or
cool, but
cold immunity would have been nice, but
The
I
book
guess
is
I could always
called
grovel to Saloon some more.
Valkyria. The book is called The Veil and the Raven.
And how much?
How much does it cost?
Yes.
I mean, they're willing to just give it to you. You're in the temple.
Yeah, well, they get a stack of copper because I have far too much of that on me for doing stuff.
They're very well. How much copper do you give them?
More than I had written down. Fuck it, can have 200 copper, whatever that equates to.
They are both very grateful and like very shocked at the donation, and they immediately start like speaking to each other in Elvish, like maybe now we can finally fix the roof.
Aw.
Yeah, Aaron.
Welch just bleeds money for good causes. And is slowly becoming a pantheist.
Woo! Aaron's also gonna go over. Probably not directly to them. Is there like a coffer box somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's one at the foot of the statue.
Aaron will put a scented candle, because that's his default offering, and also 10 golds, down in it.
They are, again, also very grateful. And Ichi approaches you, Demir, and says, so, what happened there? You all just sat in the circle, then the flower died, and now everyone is acting super strange. And he's saying this in Marhabi.
Yeah, in Marhabi, Demir is just kind of like, oh, nothing. We just had a little conversation with the Raven Queen.
You know.
I'll tell you more when we get back to the hotel, when we are not among the faith.
I look forward to hearing that. That sounds very interesting. Like the Raven Queen herself.
In the flesh, as far as I could tell.
He starts like kind of scribbling down some notes in his quarter book.
And actually, as Demir is speaking in Marhabi, she has like a momentary pause and realizes that when the Raven Queen was speaking to her, it wasn't purely Marhabi. It was a combination of Marhabi and Sylvie. And Demir just, like, she didn't think about it because she just heard it and she understood. But once she started speaking her mother tongue to Itri, she had this moment of like, wait a minute, that wasn't right. And she'll just kind of look to the group and kind of, are we good? Do we need more here?
Karen's gonna shoot a
I
quick
do
message.
believe
to all
that
the
we
squad.
will have people arriving for us in the inn soon, probably.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we should probably deal with that this session too.
While
Yeah.
we are
Well, we still have
doing
time.
that, there is one more thing I want to pick up at the marketplace before we go back to the hotel. I think we should probably get our new guests a sending stone, so that if
Yeah.
something were to occur, they have a possibility of reaching us. And it is always good to have a spare sending stone, I think.
And they're only like a couple hundred, right?
Yeah, they're like, looking it up now, 300.
They're expensive for poor people. They're cheap as hell for adventurers.
And either we can take that from the party funds and then keep it around, or
I think party funds and then just keep it once we get them settled.
While Demir is a little more distant from her husband, speaking with Eitri, Hawk sort of just like leans in towards Lish, and he's like, "She did you see that glare she gave me back there when I was talking to the Raven Queen? Do you know what that was about? Any inkling?"
Which glare?
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It was a glare.
Wearing a mask. She looks towards people.
Not the Raven Queen, Demir.
Okay.
Demir was glaring. Demir gave like Hawk that one glare earlier, like just like about truthfulness, right? And he's just like,
were you
I
speaking at the time that she glared at you?
briefly before. I don't know if it's just because
It
she
was
hates
probably
my...
because you were speaking and your mouth was open, perhaps. That is what the problem was.
Okay, so it's about what I thought. I know better than to ask her.
Well, you certainly could. It would maybe gain you a little bit more clarity.
I'd rather keep all of my gears intact, thanks.
Lish just kind of like gives Hawk like a around the shoulder kind of like rumble and just like, you fret too much.
Perhaps. I do worry about her, but...
You must worry for yourself. We are entering dangerous times. Danger City.
Oh, believe me, I am doing that plenty already.
Can you believe you dreamt of your own death, and now the Raven Queen is also dreaming of your death? How interesting. I wonder if you two should compare notes at some point.
Huh.
Where the hell did
I
I
don't think she
write
has to- I
down
don't
my
think-
lengths of chain?
I don't think she has to dream it. I think she already knows.
I wonder what she's seen.
Right. He's kind of like not looking at you when he says that. He's looking somewhere. Just sort
Lish
of in
looks
front.
like he like smiles a little bit and is just like, what did I say about worrying too much?
Kind of like looks back at you and he's like, I'm glad that your sort of what do you call it, a party animal sort of attitude is rubbing off on me a slight bit. It's refreshing.
Oh, I do hope it'll rub off more.
Won't that be the day?
DM, stop it. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Give me a decade, I'll be
I
scuffing
have
the dance floors with these brass feet of mine.
Right, feet.
Please tell me you're not thinking about robot feet.
Sure. The feet I'm
Do you
thinking
have
about.
toes,
Anyways.
or do you just have a
Anyway,
block of toe?
anyway.
Because there's definitely a hinge there for proper movement and balance.
Overrated. Magic will do it. Lish will kind of drag Hawk to be with the around the rest of the group again.
Yeah, he won't resist.
We're gonna go shopping, get some more sending stones.
All
Alright.
right.
Before we leave the temple, Demir is going to drop 20 silver, or I'm sorry, yeah, 20 silver. That was what I thought. Into like the little platform before one of the Raven Queen statues and just kind of looking up at her like, I'm not ungrateful. I appreciate it. I understand you're not the others. And that's all. She'll walk and join the rest.
The statue does not respond, but you feel like you were heard.
Aaron sends a quick message over to Volk. Do the Raven Queen and Clive more like each other? Or should I not bring it up?
Sorry, who what?
Do the Raven Queen and Clive more like each other, or should I not bring it up?
What's the word in the middle there that I'm completely missing? Who does she not like?
Kalimvor.
Kalimvor. I do not know. And my dice says 16.
For a religion check.
Yes.
You're not entirely sure what, if any, relationship the Raven Queen had when she was mortal with the god of death. But now it's it's more like Raven Queen is the goddess of death, like the action, the verb death, dying. Whereas Kalimvor is the god of the dead. He's more of like a Hades, Anubis type. So she observes them as they die and their fate. She cuts the thread and she moves the soul over to what the fuck did I call it?
Limbo?
No. Otherworld, where the mortal souls of the deceased congregate to be judged by Kalimvor and are then sent to the appropriate afterlife, depending on who and how they were in life. And with the 16, that's all I'm going to give you.
I lean over to Aaron and go, no, I'm not aware of any beef between the two entities, deities, individuals, whatever. Uh, they're
The co-workers.
they're co-workers. One is specialized in one part, and the other is specialized in the other.
It's gonna say, there. I don't
What's
know.
a good metaphor? They're
Hmm.
both gods of cooking. One is the god of baking, and the other is the god of grilling. No, they're both gods of food. One is god of cooking, and one is god of the actual, food.
All right, I guess that makes sense. Not confident enough to pick anything up. Coworkers can range from I guess just like a working relationship to like, and Aaron's actually going to I was gonna say he gives Volk a noogie, but I'm not 100% sure like Vok's head is
How?
double. Yeah. He's just gonna he's just going to put his
Punch your
arm around
shoulder.
Vok's shoulder, but very suddenly and with the intent to drag you down a little. And say
Goes in for a
whatever
noogie and then
this
goes, wait a second. Maybe not.
He's gonna say, oh, coworkers can be as close as whatever the fuck this is.
At which point, I would like to make a contested strength test to reverse the noogie. Fuck.
Oh god, I didn't do good either.
What did you roll?
11
Overall or on the die?
overall.
Oh, I have a chance.
See, the thing I rolled a 2 on the die. He just has so much fucking strength.
Aha! A 12!
Nice.
So you go in for a noogie and you're like, wait a second. And then when you're like going, wait a second, I probably shouldn't be noogieing, Balk just whoop and noogies you.
Owen's hair falls out of its, careful little braids. It's up and it's now completely in front of his face. He doesn't fix it. He just turns his eyes on slightly, so he just has glowing eyes behind just a wall of hair. Yes, exactly.
Where is that walrus
He
image?
is the girl from the ring.
I just want to say, when my hair was long in middle school, and I would put it in front of my face like that, there were so many ring jokes at my
I
expense.
believe it.
Anyway, can I have everyone just really quick make a wisdom saving throw?
Clock strikes 12. Do you want to
Yeah,
count
I'm
Paladin
good.
auras?
Yes,
We're probably sticking
Paladin
together,
auras
so.
would be up.
Yep.
Tobias rolled a 4.
Everybody huddle around your holy
Buddy.
people. Oh no. Toby.
I got a 14.
Dirty 20, I think.
30-20.
Yeah, dirty 20.
Oh,
Demi?
Our poor depressed boyo.
Sorry, 21.
21. Erin?
That's probably worth spending a die on. Oh, that was actually as good as that could have gone. That's a 9 off of a natural 1. Wait.
You're
Actually,
right
wait.
next to me, so you get +3.
Okay. Then that's a 12, and I forgot to add my actual. So that's a 14.
Pretty
That's a
well for a
14.
natural 1. Wow.
Also a natural 1.
All right.
If we also get a +3 to our save, then I'm 24.
Okay.
How close do we have to be to Volk for that?
10 feet.
Or 10 feet by Hawk, and you get a +2.
3.
Oh,
I wasn't
yeah,
keeping track of where
you improved your
Tobias
thing.
is, so
Yes.
We're probably
I mean,
all
we're all pretty
within
close.
at least like 20 feet of each other.
Yeah, I took a
20 feet
friggin-
is far.
then I guess Tobias
So-
got a 7 if it's a +3.
All
It
right.
don't make a difference for you there, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
God.
Tobias, can you roll a why the fuck? A D let's just say a D10. This chart is asking for a D15. I'm like,
Oh,
why?
what?
Anyway, D10.
7.
Okay.
I'm suffering. There's an itch on my foot that I cannot get rid of. Help.
Replace your feet with boot-shaped robot parts.
Oh, you know what I need? I need a Medusa and Demir like right now. That'll fix my problem.
Anyway, I didn't say it out loud, but I got a 28.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So you go and buy some sending stones. There's one set for yeah. Let's split the difference. 250 because I'm getting like people say 300 and 200. I'm like 250. And so unless there's anything else anyone wants to do while you're out and about.
Nope. Shall we go inform the nice people of their freedom?
I'm too scared about going into any other businesses and finding out they're doing something fucked up.
Yeah, Valk was adult and, responsible and didn't murder a fucking demon, even though the demon kind of deserved it. So,
Aaron would have if Demir had not responded immediately as positively as possible when he messaged her.
All right.
About our yes. As we are walking. I don't know how much of a good idea it would be to just tell them, surprise, you're free. Also, wait in this demi-plane for unknown time. I think maybe we should wait to have that whole conversation with them until we are all in a safe location, perhaps?
No, we're telling them that they're free right away, so they know they're free people and they can start thinking about how they want to live their lives.
Are you worried about being overheard?
A little bit, and also we do need them to, not kill each other for however long they'll be in the demi-plane.
I think they'll be less likely to kill each other with some good news and something to look forward to. And I'm not lying to their faces and saying that they're still enslaved, Demir.
I am not suggesting lying to them. I'm simply suggesting that we approach this with a little force.
We're getting them into the demi-plane, and then we're telling them that they're free of their obligations, and we will help them get them set up once we get back to the prime material plane.
I agree with
Oh, wait.
Falk. I think we have a number of potential places that we can help them out if they want to come through. If they want to enter, if we want to bridge connections with, I don't know, people or so whatever. I think
Well,
if we
I
give
suppose there's also
them,
Marhaba and the Winter Court.
well, I think if we tell them what kind of options are available to them, I think Volk's right. I think they'll spend more of their time thinking about that than than anything else.
I'm sure. I just. And how much aid do you plan to give to them? We've already spent 15,000 gold for them. I just think I am not suggesting that we keep them in any sort of bonds or anything like that. I have no intention of that. In fact, when they reach whatever safe plane we find, I have no problem with granting them their freedom. I'm merely suggesting that perhaps a dozen people coming out of the hells will not necessarily be in the mindset to handle such things with grace, I suppose. Best way to put it. We don't know any of them. And so
We can always throw them into the Feywild.
I don't know that we should do that.
I have this handy dandy hole.
Lish, perhaps we shouldn't be farming these people we just freed for free Fey deals.
Well, speak for yourself.
Perhaps we shouldn't be using our freed slaves as crash test dummies for the
Or
whole.
freeing them and then immediately making them indentured in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't really be crash test dummies for the Fey portal because we wouldn't be able to test the hypothesis and see what happens to them on the other side.
Demir could
It's
spy on
just-
them afterwards.
So I will
Not
note
that we're doing that.
I will note that when you set up the Fey hole, it stays there for like 24 hours, I think. So it's just a nice little hole you could see through and hop in and out of if you wanted.
Oh, so we
That's
can
handy.
see through.
Mhm.
I thought it was just like,
Is it single use?
Your thing, it is not single use. Fiola put on an enchantment so it'll take you to any one of the seasonal courts, and after the enchantment wears off or Fiola dies, it can lead to anywhere in the plane.
So
It's
what
kind
I'm
of a
hearing,
it's a good backup. It's for if you need to make a quick escape.
so what
And,
I'm
some
hearing
things go through it
is we
both
can
ways.
set up the hole a couple days in a row to see if it's dropping us in the same location or trying to get a better location.
could certainly see. It would be interesting to try and get a certain court.
Anyway, I would like to inform our good
Fine.
people of their improved fates.
I think
Well, are we? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think Demir does bring up a good point about just like entertainment, I guess. We shouldn't just deposit them somewhere with a coffee fountain and nothing else.
Gonna say, I will also note that Itri had to specially create the coffee fountain. It does not make food.
Yeah,
We
we
bought
bought
food.
we bought food already. We bought
Okay,
a week's worth
okay.
of provisions for them.
Doesn't make food.
And then-
I mean, not to tell you how to live your lives, but like, if you know anyone in the Feywild that could maybe provide like some good fruit or something, or at the very least get them high so they don't kill each other.
I mean, I do
I have-
have random ass drugs. I could just give them
My
some
God.
of the Carthagu and other things that I have in my pocket.
I was thinking more along the lines of like, I can give up my drawing supplies and maybe a book.
Well, to be fair, two of the slaves are art, right? So we could just have them hang around and be like the entertaining like art statues.
I hope none of you ever have to take care of a missing person.
One, I think they would just be happy being bored instead of, slaves. And I can
it's
give
a
them
nice
some
place.
smut.
Oh, good. Is there any privacy
I mean,
in each
You know, some of them are specifically sex slaves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Right.
gonna have to say,
That's
is there any
why I made
privacy
that
in
noise.
Itri's little plane?
Not really. And that's again
It's a courtyard with a coffee fountain and a couple of tables and some rugs.
it's a study room.
I mean,
the only advantage to it is that it is a safe place off of this plane that we can easily access without risking a planar crossing issue.
Mhm.
It's just temporary, and that is why I am suggesting we just kind of let them stay there. We can tell them to relax. We can tell them to do whatever. We can nominate one of them to be in charge of the sending stone if anything goes wrong, or if they run out low on supplies, or anything like that. And then we can deal with it. Just keeping things as
is to be expected, I think would be a better route than to release Bedlam in a tiny study room.
Nominally speaking, they aren't really free in Itri's study. That's
Exactly.
where they're trapped with limited supplies.
As soon as we release them into whatever plane of safe deposit we place them in, they are free spirits. But I think we should be careful on the initial. After all, we do not know them. We do not know what they are capable of. That's my choice.
My counter argument is if we don't free them right away, that means we still own them, and I'm not owning slaves.
We don't.
Nobody is owning slaves. We're just saying that we're just gonna like keep them like wrangled because there's so many of them, and they're gonna all have opinions on what to do and where to go. Like we're just keeping things under control.
We're not owning anything. We're just putting them away for a bit. There's no There's no difference. The only matter for us is whether they will hopefully go quietly, or if they decide that actually they don't want to wait around in a week now that they are free and would rather do something awful. We don't own
You're a pessimistic SOB.
I'm simply being realistic. They came out of the hells.
I have augury. I'm fairly sure Valk does too. Perhaps we could check the outcome of telling them before we put them in there.
If you want to consult the birds, you're certainly free to do so.
I'm more suggest I'm I'm more Dove suggesting Valk do because I don't think Aaron would think that Arnold would know, to be honest.
It would put your mind at ease. Demir looks at Volk.
I'm really trying to be a team player here as a player, but as a character, she would not be putting up with the not letting them know that they're free people, and in a week they'll be getting dropped off on their preference of playing between three options.
We hope. We hope. In a week. But we don't know. And of course, like I said, I am not suggesting lying. I'm not suggesting withholding. I am simply suggesting it is better to allow a certain degree of normality to this experience at first, just until we have a better grasp on the matter. Again, I have every intention of freeing. I have no interest in owning them.
I'm willing to ask the bones.
All right. Can you read me the description for augury?
Action in next 30 minutes. Yay or nay on if it's a good. Okay, here we go. Doing the thing. You receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following possible omens: wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for both good and bad results, or nothing for neutral.
Okay.
So basically, I'm asking, is it a good idea to tell them that they're free while they're waiting around for a week?
Do you set up shop in the middle of the road, or do you try to disguise what you're doing at all?
Well, it needs to happen within 30 minutes of the action, so it has to kind of be once we get to the
Okay.
hotel.
Okay.
And I just basically find a little corner, quickly do it, and then either go rogue or play along with Demir.
Okay. So you cast the spell and it's strange because you were just in the presence of the Raven Queen, the goddess of fate. And so you're not sure if this is just like a lingering feeling or what, but you can kind of just feel her energy as you cast augury, and gives you a definitive wheel and woe.
Well, shit.
So, I think we should wait, not make any moves until we are sure. Could be good, it could be bad. We don't know, and we have time to wait.
They
Let's
will
find
be
out when
comfortable.
we're not under the gaze of a giant vampire dragon hunting an undead phoenix in a strange and hostile plane, maybe?
They will be safe, fed, and not under any duress.
I would like to at least inform the art pieces and the sex slaves that they will not be being used for those purposes and were purchased for more basic tasks.
I'm sure you could tell them that they're not being used for any of those tasks at all.
That's my requirement for going along with this ruse.
Yes, no, I intended to.
Yeah, I think our stance is that we don't need anything immediately. Go and relax here, and then in another, I don't know, week, 2 weeks maybe, we let them out wherever they want to go.
Well, we're not telling them that latter bit.
Yeah.
So what we're telling them is none of them were purchased for their original things. We're going to be going to the prime material plane in a little bit, and we'll get them set up with their tasks once we do.
I can speak to them. Well, I suppose there are a lot of them we can speak to. All of them. But that is, I think, the general idea.
I don't
Tell
know
them that
we want you to tell them.
We have further business in Shadowfell that we need to attend to. And in the meantime, we want them to wait here. They will have food and water and
coffee
if they need. And we will return for them to when we are completed with our task here. And we'll nominate one of them to hold the sending stone. If they are running low on supplies, they contact us. If there are any issues, they contact us.
And they'll be the head honcho, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
We should also probably inform them in advance that, you might be checking in magically. if you're able to
Oh,
do that.
oh
Just so
yes.
they aren't jump scared by it. Because I know sometimes people get jump scared by it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't look in on them across planes, and it is its own plane. But, still good to mention.
And we can send in their direction.
All right.
We should probably leave a tent for them so they have a private corner.
Yes, we have tents and bedrolls and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
Want me to set it up right away, or should we wait until they arrive just so we can make sure that everyone is able to make it inside?
We should wait to cast a spell
guess-
until they arrive. Get
I
them
guess let's do
in.
the latter. They get in, and then
it's,
Ymir starts doing her speeches, and we can start setting it up in there.
That is what I figured. I just wanted to make sure.
And thanks for letting us use your study space.
All right, it's for a good cause. Just means that we will not be likely using it for rest when we're out of the city. Again, just a warning.
Yes.
Not a very big space, but it could probably fit 12 people in a sort of camping situation.
And we'll still have Valk's little, I don't know, dome.
And we have the fortress if we need something.
If we want to be ostentatious about it.
The dome.
The dome.
Yeah, do we want to be in the hidden dome or do we want to be in the very visible fortress?
Depends upon what we're doing.
Yeah, it depends on the locals. Yeah,
okay.
Go around and see if anyone has any extra books or whatever the heck.
I think all I have is the route. Not the LLOT, the liar, not loot, liar. That's basically all I've got. Unless you want to give them some small razor blades.
Oh God.
Well, all I got are bibbles and smut.
I think both would give them the wrong impression about what they're supposed to be doing in there.
Yeah.
I don't mind loaning out my lyre. If it comes back broken, I can always fix it.
I have some books I can lend as well.
I have some interesting statues and drawings, but I don't know if those, make good, furnishings?
I imagine they can talk to each other.
We don't know that they can. Aaron shrugs. I have no idea the language profile of any of them.
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Okay. So you guys head into your room, and as requested, your lovely Cambion friend, Barakiel the Subjugator,
who's lucky to be on this plane at the moment.
He passes some gold into the right hand and is able to send 12 formerly enslaved persons up to your room. And now I have a question. Who is standing closest to the door?
That would probably be Valk, since she's waiting impatiently for this to happen.
All right. You hear a light knock on the door.
I open it with face full of not happy.
As soon as you open the door, one of the female tieflings approaches you. She has dark purple skin, and her hair is very long and beautiful. It's kind of like shimmery, like orange and pinkish. She has kind of like star-like freckles on her cheeks, and her eyes are sky blue. And she approaches you and immediately, like, kind of throws her arms over your shoulders and says, in very heavily accented common, um, "Am I here to make you happy today?"
No, that won't be necessary. In fact, that is not the purpose for which we purchased you. So you don't know.
Okay. She kind of takes a step back and allows a couple of the others to head into the room, um, including one of the humans. She looks to be like a little older, kind of rough around the edges, with fair skin that looks like it's been sunburned many times. And her hair is like brown and kind of graying, and it's tied back um, in a bun, and a kind of heavily scarred goblin comes trotting in as well, and you can kind of see that like the others are all like kind of just looking curiously through the door from the hallway because it's kind of crowded.
Demir is going to be like, come in, come in, come in, come in, all of you. It's going to be a little bit of a tight fit, but we'll all make it.
All right, they all kind of come in. You can see that the female tiefling is still kind of staying toward the front. She's kind of looking everyone up and down, and you can see that it's interesting because a lot of you guys are very insightful. Those of you that are most insightful can see like she is acting smaller than she is, but she's keeping an eye on all of you and really just sizing you guys up.
Do any of you have any experience being a foreman?
They all kind of look at each other, and the male tiefling this time, and he's more of a burly dude. He's taller with kind of like more orangey red skin, and like his horns go sharply up and then back. They're dark, and his hair is shaved close to his scalp, so you can't quite tell what color it is. But he says, "I have experience with whips, if that is what you're looking for."
We are
Not so much,
have
no, but
more business to attend to on this plane. We are not from here, obviously. And we admittedly did not plan our trip very well, so we need you all to wait somewhere for us. It is a safe place. It is completely furnished with water and coffee and whatnot, and we will provide you with food. But Demir will take one of the sending stones and put it in the tiefling's hand.
The female or the male tiefling?
The one who said that he had foreman experience. Well, actually, hold on.
That he has experience with whips.
It's a little bit different.
Can I insight check both of them actually? Just
Sure. Roll an insight check and tell me what specifically you're looking for.
so insight check on the lady is a 9. Oh, hold on. Wait.
9?
Not a 9, a 10.
10. Okay.
And then my insight check on the dude is a 25, I want to say, but let me do the actual math. 25, yeah.
Talk about the dichotomy of roles.
Truly.
I'm gonna roll for insight as well
Okay.
because Valk is curious as to the individual who. Oh, nat 20.
Aaron,
On the nice individual who is very much eyeing us over.
So
Okay.
what
So
That'll be the female.
Yeah, so what I'm kind of looking at is which one is the most. I'm kind of looking for whichever one is most eager to take charge.
Okay.
Which one is
Um,
busting for it?
okay. Uh, so looking at the female, you don't really get much from her, Demir. She seems, uh, as I said, she seems to be making an effort to appear smaller and more innocent in a way. You can tell that the male tiefling, but as I said, he has more of like an autumnal palette. Um, he here just so that you can kind of get the gist of this little burst of color you're finding here in the Shadowfell. Um, uh, the male, he seems very tough. Um, like he has on occasion had the opportunity to be put in charge of uh, some of his fellow uh, fellow enslaved persons, and he is not afraid to be tough when necessary. Um, Volk, you can tell that the female tiefling, she's not she's not very tall, and she is more than willing to uh, use her size to her advantage to be able to observe people and keep an eye on them being without being noticed necessarily. I wouldn't say she's like rogue type, but you can tell that she is
free
the type
rogue.
of person, she is the type of person that is constantly analyzing everything around her. Like if she were given the opportunity to have some proper schooling, she'd probably be like pretty fucking smart.
And I rolled absolute shit for the dude, so I'm just kind of getting a read of
Dude,
brutish.
yeah, he's tall and he's tough. He looks like he could knock some teeth out if he wanted to.
Aaron's gonna take a step forward, putting a hand in front of Demir for a sec, and say, "Wait, before we get ahead of ourselves, can everyone indicate if they speak common and can understand me?"
You can see all of the humans. There's 5 humans. They raise their hand. Male elf. The two of the 3 tieflings, and then the gnoll. So one of the tieflings does not speak common, one of the elves, and then the goblin.
Aaron
Does
sends a
anybody
message over to Eitri, and says, do you have oh gosh,
tongues is
in
what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yes, I can cast tongues on yourself or on my sister.
And he's gonna send back, oh God, your sister. I do not want to have this conversation.
First question. does any of the individuals... Okay, so a couple you don't speak common. Is there any one of you that speaks all the languages of the group so they can communicate with everyone?
The female tiefling you guys have been observing, we all have some knowledge of infernal.
Okay, so whoever gets the sending stone can pass messages along sufficiently no matter what.
Aaron is going to say in Infernal, which is a language that he knows. All right. Glad there's an overlay.
I'm sorry, what? How long has he known this? The whole time?
It doesn't come up that often.
I guess it
Smiley
doesn't,
face.
but wow.
Wow.
The
That was
ASMR
not a tongue I
speaking
expected to come
infernal?
out of you, Aaron.
Yeah,
He's had a demon in his head for how long? And people are
You're all-
surprised
you're
that he
all
can
used to,
speak
you know.
demon.
When
Syria, I
Aaron
don't think
switches
that
into a
Rakshasa was giving
language-
out free language lessons.
When Aaron switches into a language you guys don't understand, well, most of you, you're used to it being, celestial singing. And Aaron opens his mouth and starts talking, and it's something else. And this time it's, Urba, royal and screechy and just awful, and it is so much of a contrast to almost everything that comes out of Aaron's mouth.
Rakshasa reminded Aaron to work on his Duolingo every day.
Funny you say that. I just memed about that in
Ghost of
Discord.
Laurel's in Aaron's head. Have you done your Duolingo today? The
You missed your-
Duolingo owl will
You
come and
missed
get
your infernal
you.
practice. You know
Hold
what
on.
happens next.
Hold on. I'm gonna show you guys something, and it's gonna make you mad.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Good.
I haven't done it yet today, but that's
Oh
my
my
streak.
God, dude. Are
Damn.
you okay?
No.
Jesus.
They started teaching math and piano, by the way. If anyone's interested.
Oh, that's
But,
cool.
But I've been doing French. And anyway, I'm not going to advertise for Duolingo anymore until they give me money.
There you go.
This episode of The Wild Rose is brought to you by Duolingo.
No free advertisement.
You know, if they give us money.
Okay, does Demir have tongues cast on her then?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she'll I know what I want to do, but I'm kind of trying to think about No, she's going to give the sending stone to the fucking tiefling. To the girl.
Okay.
What's her name, darling?
You're asking her her name.
When you hand the sending stone to the female tiefling, you can see Valk nod.
I am called Nova. How shall we refer to all of you?
We are the Wild Roses. I am Demir. This is Lish. This is Valkyria. This is Hawk. This is Erin. This is Tobias. This is Dimitri.
My apologies. I was not clear. Are you looking for lady or lord or master or?
You may address us by our names. For now. For now.
Okay. And she
Easier to know who you're talking to.
She
There are
communicates
so many of
that to the others in Infernal.
I am speaking tongues. They can understand.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, Demir does the introductions, and E3 will get the room set up for us. I think it needs 10 minutes to get it, so. But I would like to. I'm going to go around, get their names, And then Demir is going to ask the 2 elves and the 3, the 3 prostitutes and the 2 art pieces. And she is going to specifically ask them to speak to her in the other room.
Okay. So the female art piece is an elf named Arwen. She is one of the ones that does not speak common. And I know that I did put their names in the chat before, but I'll do it again later. Put them in the proper, like, you actually met these NPCs. The male elf is Kahatar. Let's see. And the female sex worker human is named Clara. And then the 2 female tieflings, you've already met Nova. And then the other one, the one that doesn't speak common, is Electra.
And Samir will go and bring them into the other room to speak with. And
Okay.
Since I still have tongues up, I'm just going to keep speaking. But I understand your previous positions, as explained by your former master. And to you 5 specifically, I wanted to inform you that in our party, you will not be engaged in those services unless you desire to. Do you understand?
Electra looks toward Nova and signs something. And this
You
is...
can speak, I will understand you.
She opens her mouth. She's missing her tongue.
Oh, shit.
She signs to Nova, who says, are you hoping to... Well, would you be able to tell us what sort of work we can intend on doing?
We don't yet, but I wanted to be clear to you 5 specifically that in our house, under our care, we take consent. We can take consent very seriously. And
they all seem pretty relieved. Like, particularly the female human.
And well, I cannot make any promises. I can tell you that we will do our best for you. If you are willing to cooperate with us. For now.
Nova speaks again and says, I am happy to keep eyes, you said, and she kind of like waves the sending stone. And the male elf, Qatar, he's like, so I know what sort of work they had me doing previously. Are you sure there's nothing that we will be doing in this waiting period?
For now, no. And I do apologize for what will be a boring period. But
boring is good. We don't mind boring. I am a little concerned that we've had trouble with the little one, the goblin, trying to steal food before. What shall we do to ensure that everyone gets their fair share, if that is what you intend?
That is what we intend. We have purchased supplies enough for you to last at least 8 days without any need of resupply. And we will provide provisions if our chores take longer than 8 days, but hopefully it shouldn't. I don't imagine, but who knows? Our duties are strange and adventures go awry, but that is good to know. I suppose you all are, you five are capable. I would put you five in charge of making sure that everyone is fed accordingly and appropriately. But for now, truly, I want all 12 of you to just spend the time that you are waiting, relaxing, and being bored. And
Nova.
Recuperating.
Preparing for our return, recuperating. We have some various bits and bobs of entertainment that you are welcome to avail yourselves of, but mostly we just hope to stay orderly.
Nova speaks up again. That's good to hear, but you will probably want to tell the others yourself. They will not trust if it is just coming from us.
Of course, I will communicate to the rest of the group, but like I said, I needed to speak to you five specifically to let you know the rules. Deal. Your no is the final word.
They all kind of exchange glances, and there seems to be consensus of agreement among them.
Excellent. Thank you. And hold on. What is her name? Clara? Was it?
She looks towards you.
We can help.
Electra was the nonverbal.
Oh, Electra? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
the other tiefling. Clara is the human.
Okay. Sorry, Electra. I was
Clara's
addressing it to the one without a tongue. We can help with that if that is of interest. So spend your time thinking of that.
She looks kind of taken back, but also kind of nervous, like she's waiting for something.
That is all. Just think about it. Consider it. If you wish to speak again. Like I said, we have certain standards and rules. And we have preferences for how we treat those around us.
All right.
And Demir will lead them back into the room and to the other seven.
I was gonna say, by this point, Itri is setting up his demi-plane.
And
Aaron's
Falk kind of, when you come back in, it's just like the conversation went well.
Yeah.
well.
So,
well, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
While Demir's been out, Aaron has been doing a very abridged version of that, and it's just been like, we don't have anything to do right now. We have a safe space for you all to relax and wait in. And he's gonna pull out the like entertainment stuff that he's gotten. And he'll say, "We will be giving you enough food. There should be clean water and maybe even coffee. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but there will be food and water enough for several days. Um, if you run out of resources or there is any conflict, feel free to tell, let's see, Nova. Feel free to tell Nova. And then yeah, he's like, uh, drawing supplies, free for anyone who wants to use them. I've got this book. I've got this lyre. I've got some candles, and
I've got the good shit.
and you're free to make use of any of this or of any of the sustenance. Please do make use of the sustenance. We want you fed. And yeah, contact us if there's anything you need.
And use this
Including
time
more
to
paper. I can
recuperate.
source more paper, I think.
All right. They all are in varying levels of confusion, but they're very quick to accept the situation given that you guys, in their mind, are their owners. They're not going to talk back.
Yup. Yeah, and
Uh,
that whole speech was an infernal.
I had assumed so.
Mm.
But yeah, Itri gets the demiplane set up. Everyone starts kind of filing in, finding places to sit. Nova immediately goes for the lyre and starts plucking at it and trying to tune it. Everyone, again, overall, the vibe is confusion, and kind of being weirded out, but not gonna make a fuss.
Demir will use the remainder of her tongues to explain that to the group that she has asked Iwin, Kata, Clara, Electra, and Nova to distribute the food and make sure that everything is handled, that you all are expected to be well behaved and take care of each other, be fair, all that other stuff. And if anything is going wrong, if there is any conflict, if there are low supplies, to have Nova reach out to us and we will take care of it. While you are here, you are free to occupy yourselves however you wish. To relax, to recuperate, to entertain oneself however you need. The rules we have are that consent is prime key, and if we find out that anyone's consent here has been violated, that will be dealt with swiftly. And that no one is to harm any of their fellows while they are here.
Effectively, they're all equals. Nova is just our point of contact.
It's not a hierarchy. I've just asked these 5 to keep an eye on things, to take care of that, to be in charge of that portion, but no, you all don't answer to anyone except for us.
All right.
And Aaron will just bustle around, making the space nice, setting out his blanket, getting the tent set up, putting out some candles, and he's got a statue of a walrus and a statue of a mermaid, and he'll set both up. And put up his drawing of Sniv if it's possible to put things up on the wall or whatever the courtyard is made of.
All right.
The one of Sniv like zonked out with the fairies on him.
Samir will put a handful of the books that she's picked up throughout the campaign. And actually she might kind of hang out over with Nova and the lyre and take out her own fancy lyre and be like, do you play?
I have been taught many forms of entertainment. I like to think that I am decent. I can leave that for you to decide.
Sure. Do you want to play together?
I can, sure.
And Demir is just going to do a little musical
Alright.
back and forth.
Performance check.
Boy. You know, for a bard, I am not trained in performance. That's really sad. But that's not bad. Okay. It's 25.
25. Nova got about a 19, so she's decent, but not as trained as you.
Not what I expected. Demir just kind of having fun, having a little jam session.
Once he's gotten all the supplies he specifically came in with set up, Aaron's gonna turn around to the group and say, do any of you have any specific needs for being happy and comfortable? Anything, I don't know, called dietary.
If they have any injuries, I'd be happy to heal anyone.
I mean,
That's a good point.
many of them are scarred and have scrapes here and there, but there aren't any, like, really dangerous injuries that you can see.
Active injuries.
Yeah, active injuries.
Yeah.
If Valk sees the one tiefling signing, she'll probably start signing back.
Do you know Infernal Sign Language?
Oh, it's a different sign language? Well, fuck.
Oh no, it's American SL versus British SL all over again.
Literally.
I start signing back and prime material plane signing, see that they're completely different and go, oh.
Roll an intelligence check.
Well, that ain't worth shit. I just rolled a 2.
For a total of?
Intelligence check, that would be a 2.
So lucky you, Electra got a 16. And she's able to kind of guide you towards some signs. You're not 100% what she's going for, but you're able to mimic her gestures and movements.
I tried.
Lisha's gonna set up a hookah with the Carthagu in it if people want to partake.
I mean, the goblin will immediately go for it.
Hell yeah.
And did anyone mention having particular medical needs or whatever? Specific care requirements? I don't want to say that, but it is what I mean.
Okay.
All right. Are there any conversations that anyone would like to have?
Oh, Aaron is going to give, I guess Nova, since she's kind of overseer, he is going to put in the same pile as all of the food and stuff, 3 healing kits. And just say, in case anyone needs these, in case anything happens and someone needs these.
As you like come over and start talking to her, she loses concentration on her lyre plucking for a moment, and Mrs. Note kind of winces, but thanks you for them.
Say, sorry, your plague was very good until I got here, and then he'll take a few steps back.
I take it I can use sending to contact Nova at this point, or do I need to talk to her more to be able to do that?
You can use sending to talk to her.
Yeah, at which point Valk's kind of being distant.
I think Demir is, at least, she's going to go around and speak to mostly the ladies, actually, to, situate them and all that sort of thing. Showing them how to use the coffee fountain.
All right.
Um,
the female humans, they are very quick to pick up on the coffee fountain, and they are excited about it.
And yeah, she's just going to kind of giving them a little bit of a show around, and just kind of hanging out a little. When it gets more towards like time to cook, I think Demir is just going to start like cooking for all of them. If we have the capacity, I don't think we do though.
You know what? I'll say why not.
Yeah, then Demir will cook up a meal for everyone, for all fucking the fucking 20 of us.
It's family style tonight.
Yeah, basically. Demir is gonna make a big old pot of something. I don't know what. Probably a stew.
All right.
If I might make a suggestion, white people taco night.
No. Yeah, no, Demir will actually, what she will do, going off of the idea of white people taco night, is she's going to make a bunch of like grilled meat. She'll do some like kebabs. And we have some like kind of older bread that's gone a little stale, so she's going to roast the kebabs over the bread, so all the drippings go down onto the bread and revigorate it, so that when you slice the meat, you put it on top of the soggy bread, and then you can put some sauce or some toppings and stuff like that on top. So that's what Demir will make.
Right.
She's making a skanda kebabs, if anyone knows what that is.
Once you have made the food and you present it to them, they are all shocked that someone else is more or less serving them at this point. But you can tell as everyone is kind of huddled in different spaces around the room, they're all very happy to be eating the first time someone's made them something nice in a long time. Unless there's anything anyone wants to share at this time, that's where we can call session. We'll pick up on Saturday.
All right.
Got some undead phoenix hunting to do now that we've talked to a goddess and
stabilized our rescue situation.
Situated.
Yeah. Our rescue plan in motion. We've got freaking new knowledge and all that.
Yeah.
I need to actually update my personals. I did not update them as we were learning things.
well, thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah.
4 years.
Happy
Congratulations,
anniversary.
y'all.
Oh my god, 4 years!
We celebrated by like rating 12 people. It's pretty good.
You were doing pretty good. You guys got to talk to a goddess, got to rescue some people, got to feed said people, got some information. You're gonna get Elijah Wood coming in for the final battle.
If
Gonna get the guy.
If the +1 isn't Elijah Wood in some way, even if like from a different movie, I'm gonna be very sad.
Okay, how about I give you Frodo?
They call him the ring bearer.
Or I recall he acted a bit in Drunk History. I'll see if I can give you. I think he was Lord Byron actually in the Frankenstein episode. So you can have that, I guess.
We were promised that they would be useful.
Anyway, thanks for playing, guys. Pleasure as always.
Thanks for letting me
the
join
day
y'all.
after tomorrow.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's the frequency D&D should happen at.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys around.
Bye.